Welcome, everyone, to the Season 3.3 live draft following the promotion and relegation race. I'm joined by Saito. Saito, welcome this morning.
Hello, everybody.
I need more enthusiasm.
You need more enthusiasm than hello, everybody. I thought you were going to keep talking. Hey, guys, how's
There
it
we go.
going? I was no, that was a crazy race. Maybe I can't muster up any enthusiasm because I'm still a little like shook. Like that was something else. That was really fun to watch.
Dude, that was insane. Like
And Zen did an amazing job.
I did not anticipate it going in that route. Uh, Tex falling to this on fuel is huge. Like that's a huge contender going down into GT4, and it just shows it comes down to that consistency and everything that we've talked about in the past. But crazy race.
Yeah, it really. I mean, and like kudos to Tex too for like seeing the writing on the wall and still being like, I'm gonna stay out and I'm gonna push this. I'm gonna see if this is possible. I mean, and it was a hard fight. So I think if he had put in just like a little bit more fuel, he probably could have stayed out the whole time. Probably could have held Hyphy off.
Yeah,
So it
in
was wild.
that was nuts. So finishing order, we have Berman with fastest lap of 132.539 in the Ferrari. Coma held his position in GR3. I know he's ecstatic right now. He took second place. Berman, this is the second time he's been in relegation, and he's defended it both times. Hyphy in third, rocking my livery with the Lambo that Deeds made. Kudos to that. Huge Jar in fourth, running the Ferrari as well. And then Tex, the only driver with the 4C. And again, fifth place, running out of fuel, unfortunately. So.
You know, um, there you go.
Thanks,
Well,
thanks.
um, Tex, I'll see you in GR4. Well, I probably
You,
won't
you
see
may
you, but
not
some
see him.
people will see you in GR4.
He is a strong driver. He's a very strong driver, and some of the GT4 guys are going to have their hands full with trying to get around him because when he's on his game in a good car, like he's tough to beat for sure.
Right, and
So
with essentially an entirely open, for with the exception of a few or whatever, with an open car bank, like it's even more terrifying
yeah,
for sure.
no, it's going
Um,
to be fun to watch for sure. So, well, that's our finishing order. We got our top two guys in the GR3, and then the rest of them are going down to GR4. How do you feel about the car bank now that you've seen it and everything like that?
I'm excited. I'm really excited. Because I want to get into a good car. Not that I haven't been in good cars before, but obviously like the Peugeot, and I'm not gonna blame the Peugeot for everything. But it'll be nice to get into a good car, and with the bank entirely open, that's like a pretty much a guaranteed stuff. Like I've already been looking at I've built out my own personal top seven, and I feel great in every single one of them. So
No, that's awesome. I think that's going to be the most exciting part for the Group Fours this year is no longer having to rely on the I don't want to say the most dominant class, but I mean in that case where sometimes the GT3 cars are put a little bit more priority, and the Group Four guys are left with having to contend and adapting. Whereas this season, you get to kind of pick your stuff. You know what I mean? So it's going to be exciting.
yeah,
Let's talk through the rules real
yeah, I'm
quick
really excited for it.
of today. So we have seven captains. All of these captains are out of Group 3. There are five selection rounds. We have one more round than what we did last season, and that's because we added that Group 4 car pick like we're talking about. Each captain has 2 minutes per round. They can draft in any order that they want. They can go Group 3 first, Group 4 first, or car selection. They do have to pick one GR3 and GR4 car slot. We will choose cars at another time. This is just for what order you choose your car in. And then we are going in reverse order from the way we finished last season. So the seventh place captain, who is Chaotica, is going to go first, and then it's going to be after that. It's going to be who goes after that? I think it's Dirksey, then Zen, or not Dirksey, Zen, Dirksey, Cam, Floody, then Cam, then Mercury, Zen, and then Glovis. So that's our current order when it comes to that. So, if you were captain,
Yep.
who do you go? Who do you go with first? Do you go group four? Do you go group three? Do you pick a car? What do you do?
Uh, all things being equal, I'm captain in group four, let's say, right? I'm not going to be able to help myself, and I'm going to go car first. Um, However, the smart choice, I think, obviously, is to grab a GR4 driver right off the gate. I think it's honestly going to be a hard choice between Honda and Texas. Um, Honda had it in the bag before Nuremberg, and he's intimidating in his own right. So I think it kind of goes to like a familiarity thing. Who have you paid attention to more? I think they're borderline equal, at least in this draft. So
Yeah, no, I
you,
agree. I mean,
who do you
my
take?
my strategy has always been group four first because of the potential for points. Not saying anybody below seventh place in GT3 doesn't have that capability, but it's not as likely as the top group four drivers being up at the top. And I think for this season too, I would probably also, for me, I would prioritize the group four car because there are
Mm-hmm.
more group three cars that seem to be a little bit more balanced than the group four car. So I think there's an advantage there as well of grabbing a group four car somewhat early with that group four driver that could really set you and your team up for success when it comes to that because that could make or break exactly what you end up with team wise.
Right. I'd have to agree. Keep the group four driver, like you get your good driver, get him in the car that he's the most comfortable with, and you're looking at guaranteed points easily.
Yeah,
Oh, yep, that's for sure the smart play here. Oh,
yeah. Who do you think for next season is the besides who's already at the top between Hyphy and Huge Jar? Who do you think is up and coming out of Group Four?
um, let's see. I don't know. I'd like to say like I feel pretty good. Right off the bat. I don't know up and coming, but definitely maybe put in a little bit more of a fight than than previously. Um, let's see. I don't know. I mean, I would strongly consider Rue
Mm-hmm.
um, as I think one of the rookies that's like really shown a ton of promise. I don't think Thrasher would be a bad pick either. I mean, nobody's going to be a bad pick, haha. But like, I think Thrasher would be a really good one to consider as well. I think seventh overall it seems aberrant for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can expect him to be a lot higher going forward. Um, Honestly, too, Arcane,
Mm-hmm.
another one that I would definitely be on the lookout for. I think there's a lot of potential there for Arcane to shoot up in the standings. He was showing huge improvement between every single race.
Yeah.
I feel like so.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I mean, Golden's on a rig and healthy again and everything. You never know. That's a dark horse kind of story waiting to happen for sure.
Yeah, he could definitely play the sleeper role that kind of runs under the radar,
Yep.
and by the end of the season is adapted to his rig a little bit more. You may end up with those late points. That could go a long way.
Right. Right. I think a late game push from Oracle is definitely like in the cards.
Yeah. No, that'd be cool. So captain wise, we've got Chaotica Dirksey, Floody, Cam, Mercury, Zen, and Glovis. Who was your captain last season?
Chaotica.
Chaotica? Okay. So,
Yep.
Chaotica aside, who out of the tops, the remaining captains, would you prefer to be on a team with? Not for any purpose of just being with a new driver or something that you like about him or something like that.
I don't know. I've been on Chaotica's team now twice. Um, and I like Chaotica. I feel like we click really well in like the team dynamic. The chat that we have is always like uh it's the chat itself, like the chat room is always up and running. It's easy to get in there, ask questions, talk and stuff. I wouldn't mind being on somebody else's team too. It would be cool for like to be on a team with Jerksy
Mm-hmm.
because we can't shut up about Skyline. So I think you'd have another season of Skyline themed cars as well. Honestly, anybody, I'd love to be on Matt's team again too. Matt's ton of fun. But like I'm gonna be cool with anybody.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, like it would be cool to go to something familiar. It would be cool to like be on a team with somebody new.
Yeah.
So
We shall see. It's
yeah,
it's a little different for me. I'm so used to being in the captain's seat and prepped and ready to go and up until yesterday, that's kind of where my head was at with everything until we made the change. But
right.
so right now, Merck and Chaotic are talking to these new captains and old captains of like what the rules are going to be. Cam's new to being in the captain's seat. Dirksy's
That's
not
true.
new, but not excited about it. He does great once he gets in there, but he's just like, oh man, here we go again. So maybe
Right.
getting a little bit of the Skyline crew in there may do well. So, but it's interesting just to see.
He's the tension.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm getting the 2 minute warning, so it sounds like Chaotica is probably on the clock, and we should have our first
All
picks
right.
coming any moment now. So with that, I mean, okay, chips are on the table. Who's the first pick?
Texas goes first.
Yeah, I think the same
Um,
thing. And
yeah,
again, no shade thrown at Huge Jar Hyphy, who would be the contender for that first pick in Group Four. But some of us who've been in the league a long time, who have been able to see what Tex has been able to do in that proper car, not where he landed last season. I could definitely see Tex as first pick for Chaotica, but only time will tell. We'll see.
yeah. All right. Let's
Uh,
see.
what
Ooh,
car do you think goes first?
ooh.
Group
Yeah,
three or group four car?
I think car. I think Group Three is going to grab for most captains. I think Group Three is going to be what they grab first. I think you made a good point about getting the Group Four car early. I'm actually predicting more than one team is going to go Group Four driver, car pick, and then the rest of the drivers.
Yeah,
Um, I think even though there's a bunch of good cars on the field, there's a bunch of good cars to pick from now in the bank. I think that a lot of people are going to be gung ho for that meta for sure.
yeah. It's only time will tell. But it usually is a landslide once those first cars come off
Uh,
the board. Everyone gets a little shaky when
the
they're like, "Oh my
Go
gosh, I'm
ahead.
going to
Sorry.
miss out on a car." You know what I mean? Especially if they have one in mind. For me, this season particularly, there are so many cars. Car bank would be like the last thing in my
Right.
mind. Honestly, I would be team first until like you get stuck with either
Hmm.
the last group four or group three driver where they can't be picked
That's
because everyone
yeah.
else's
Like
team is full.
if I were
Yeah, team's always going to be my go-to.
okay, you dropped out a little bit on my end, but yeah, team. I think that's the smart play. I think if you're talking about like in later seasons where your bank is like a little bit more shrunken down, like last season, car might even be more important than driver, retrospectively. But I think yeah, at least for if we continue in the same format, the first two where the bank are open, the team is where it's at. Because like you said, there's so many good cars, and then everything's changed after the update too. So some cars like got even better that we weren't even on. I think the Honda has been in GR4 has been looked over a bunch. Not saying that anybody should pick that this time around, but like good cars were left on the table. Like there's nothing that car's not exciting, but there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
So
Yep. No, I
yeah,
agree. I mean, I haven't had an opportunity to really test, but again, some drivers
yeah,
say that there's a drop off after like the first three meta cars, which it's possible,
mhm.
but we'll see.
I think everybody looks at like meta and looks at like high speed. What's going to be the fastest car, and I think that there are meta. Oh, all right,
All
we
right,
have a pick. I'll shut up.
so we got our first pick in, and against everything that we said, we were completely wrong. Chaotica
Nice.
goes car pick first, group four. Oh my gosh. I did not see this coming.
Yeah. Yeah, same. All right then. All right, Chaotica's got a plan. I think there's something there.
Or he doesn't
Uh,
because he was kind of thrown in the captain's seat late.
Yeah, but I mean, coming from captain, it's not like a massive adjustment to like you weren't expecting it. At least he was a captain last season. You can like just slot in or whatever. So I think and he's got to have been thinking about it. Like the vast majority of us have been playing this over in our heads about what's going to go on, who's going to pick what, where are we going to end up, how's the promotion relegation race. So I'm sure he's been thinking about it enough that when he got put in, he was ready to rumble.
Yeah, I
So
just I just did not see that. I did not see a car coming off the board first. Like that just blows
yeah,
my mind. And like you said, I mean, I may be eating my own words when it comes down to it, but it is what it is. So our next pick is in. Dirksey picks what we talked about, Texas Speed. So Texas Speed is off the board. Again, just recently relegated down to GT4. That's going to be a change for him having to adapt to those cars.
right.
He's been driving with us for so long now that when you get used to driving around certain people, you pick up their tendencies. Like, I know how to drive around Zen and Glovis and Mercury and Chaotica and Dirksey and all those guys. Getting into Group 4, it's going to be a change of how do these guys drive?
Right. Right, because like a lot of us, I mean, fun nights and things like that aside, I think I've only actually ever been on the same grid with Texas like one time for like I think the Christmas race or something last year. So like yeah, a lot of the Group 4 guys aren't going to have the experience with Texas, and then he's obviously going to be on the faster end of the board. So like it's going to be really interesting to try to like see who's up front with him and if they can like navigate that.
Yeah.
So
Yep. All right, Floody on the clock, and we have our third pick, and we kind of saw this coming. Boos is the first Group 3 driver off the board.
yeah,
Boos took a little bit of a break from Deviant Racing for a little bit. He was a top contender when he was in the league. Often you'd find him, on podium or shortly thereafter. Him coming back with not being a captain and being an open seat, Boos is going to be again another strong contender. He is 2 feet in. I'll say that. Like he
hmm
digs in. He will test every single car tooth and nail as far as he can go with it. So that's going to be a strong team just out the gate with Floody and Boost being on the same team, and Floody's going to learn a lot when it comes to the research. I know he knows Zen very well, who does a good job, but it's going to give him a different perspective, which I think is going to be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and Booz is incredibly knowledgeable. Like if you even take away just like the skill on the track, which is like very evidently there, he comes off at least in the Discord as being incredibly knowledgeable. So yeah, I think that's the group three driver. To what? Well, I don't Nismo. I don't know about strategy wise, but as far as like strength of driving, the two of them.
Yeah,
Are pretty up there for
Boost and
sure.
Nismo coming in not a captain opens up significantly well for a team to get a very quick jump in the Group 3 session. Because
Mm-hmm.
Nismo and Boost are very close when it comes to talent wise on the track. And again, like you said, I mean, both of them are very intelligent when it comes to that stuff, so it's good to see. So, right now, Cam is on the clock. This is his first season as captain. Um, I don't know. I'm curious if he's nervous or not.
I, just a little bit, just a little bit. Uh,
you
he
know,
he is catapulted. Like it's really cool to see him as a captain. Like after having been on the track with him
mm-hmm.
in GR4, like it's you love to see it. So and Cam's really good people. I like Cam a lot. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think he's probably a little nervous, just a little bit.
I mean, there's
Uh,
a lot riding on it. I mean, it sets up your entire team. But here's the thing: is we've had two back to back. We've had one Group 3, one Group 4 off the board, and we've got a car off the board. And it didn't create a landslide, which it will at some point.
right.
So
Let's see. He's definitely putting some thought into it for sure. So, all right.
ooh,
There we go.
all right, didn't see that coming either. Cam picks the first GT3 car is off the board.
See, this is I understand this impulse. I really because like I'm thinking if I'm a captain, getting my car first is it's where I'd have to go. Like I wouldn't be able to help myself. So I get what this is about for sure. Cam wants to set himself up in a really good car, something that he really likes.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's interesting. I'm
there
trying to
you go.
think what car he would pick, but I guess since every car he's been in has kind of been jammed down his throat, now it's his time to make the decision.
Yep, yep. Uh, yeah, I'm not super familiar. I haven't driven a lot of the GR3 cars. Just like I own a fair amount of them. It's just like you get on and I'm either like trying to practice for GR4 or like getting on F1 or whatever. So yeah, I'd be curious to see. Um,
All right, so Merc is up now.
all right, got another pick.
Um, Pick is in actually, and he goes GT4 driver, huge jar. Ooh, high huge jar. Yeah, we'll do that. There we go.
The huge jar.
Huge jar.
Awesome.
All right, so two Group 4s off the board already. Hyphy's still left. Hasn't been picked yet.
Yeah, surprised about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Zen goes
Uh,
Hyphy.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. I mean, if it's not broke, why fix it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Zen being a returning captain, has been captain multiple different times. Again, when it comes down to strategies, I mean, he's notorious for it, which could also
Mm-hmm.
catapult Hyphy even more when it comes down to that. Um, Hyphy was on his team already last season and already knows what he was capable of. And now you're going to be able
Mm-hmm.
to put him in a car possibly of his choosing. Could go a long way.
Yeah,
So,
and I mean, like he's It went away. Um, yeah, Hyphy. You put Hyphy in a car that he gets to pick, and that's really scary. And then I think Zen. That's what I was going to say. So I think Zen really liked having that manufacturer podium like locked down so early.
Hmm.
I know that I'd be thrilled by it. So like Zen's probably looking to repeat that for sure.
Ooh, and
Oh,
we're wrong again. We are horrible at this. Like you and I are not
oh,
allowed to do this ever again.
yeah, no, wow. I don't know what I'm talking about.
So Zen's pick is Rue.
I mean, it's a strong pick.
No, it is. It
It's just,
is.
it's just wow. Like,
Yeah, it's
huh?
just going off of last season and where they finished. You kind of think logically that that's how it'll go, but I mean, hey,
Yeah.
good pick. Nice job, Rue. So Glovis, I mean, it's you know what it's like. Do you watch the NFL draft?
No, I don't watch the draft. I'm so terrible about that. I'm like, just tell me who the Bengals picked up, and then I'll look at them.
So during the draft, like there's so much hype that goes around it, and you've
Yeah.
got usually between 1 and 5 quarterbacks that are usually anticipated to go in the first round, right? And they
Right.
just sit there. They sit there waiting for their name to be called. Aaron Rodgers, it was one of them too. You just sit there waiting for your name to be called. The hype was there from all Sports Center and all the news agencies, CBS Sports and all that, and they just sit there and every time the camera's like on them, and I feel like that's where Hyphy is right now, is just like he's such a game changer when it comes to it, but he's still sitting in the seat.
Right. Right. I can imagine. Like, just like, well, what about me, guys? Like, I mean, and he just, it's his whole season was good, but then he just also right in front of us, like only a few minutes ago, put on like one hell of a show too.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. He's the new Aaron Rodgers. There you go.
Exactly. And he will come back and
Oh,
dominate. So does Glovis pick him? We'll find out here in a moment. I think, oh
yeah,
no, Glovis might go Carr. And
and
just as I said that, Glovis
right.
picks a GT3 car.
All right.
So
Right,
like
and goes
there's
immediately back into the Corvette.
yeah, I mean, I don't know what his stance is on driving the same car. Like for me, I like being in a different car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think maybe I don't know. I think what do you like more? Do you like challenging yourself? Do you like mixing it up, or do you like winning? I mean, if I'm Matt, like he was
Hmm.
so good in the vet. Like it's kind of like what we were talking about with Zen possibly drafting Hyphy. Don't fix what isn't broken.
Yeah.
Like let's see if we can two-peat. After that, like maybe then get rid of it. I mean, obviously, like the bank is probably going to like lock it down after that, but there's a chance here to go back to back in that car.
Yeah.
So,
No, for sure. I mean, it is a strong car after the update. If you want to be on top again, there's nothing wrong with trying to get that car again. Um,
mhm.
I know Merck is the same way. He does not mind driving the same car season after season. Matter of fact, he's been in Mercedes more than I think anybody else has. So it's just no telling. But here's the thing. Now Hyphy is on the board, possibly with Chaotica, and Chaotica has first Group 4 pick of car, which
that that could have been the thinking going into that. Was
I think
like
he's
try
going
to
to
draft
push it
somebody really,
because,
really high up and give them the car they
yeah.
want.
Whether it was planned or not, I don't know, but we'll see if Hyphy comes off the board. There's still a ton of great drivers that are left. It's no, I'm wrong again.
Okay.
All right,
Oh,
so
we are really bad at this.
we're horrible. This is what happens. All right, Arcane, good job. Group 4 for Chaotica. Um, and this is where the media gets everything so wrong so often that it creates such a stir at everybody's pissed off because you and I are sitting there saying just like Hyphy's sitting there.
Right. Right.
Damn the media.
Right. I know. Oh, we're a part of the problem now.
Yeah, we are
Oh,
the problem now. The funny thing is,
oh
a buddy of mine is
no.
a director, and
Oh,
I should have him up here pushing buttons and whatnot, but it is what it is. So, again, I didn't see that coming. I mean,
no.
I'm gonna ride. Screw it. We're just gonna ride the Hyphy wave as long as we can. Imagine Dirksey, Hyphy, Texas Speed on the same damn team,
Oh, jeez.
right?
That's rough. And all right.
Finally, we can start talking about something else. Hyphy,
There we go.
congratulations. You are on Team Dirksey. That's solid, dude. That is solid.
There we go. All right. Oh, that's
Tex and
terrifying.
Hyphy on the same team. Mm.
That's terrifying. Oh my gosh. You know Dirksey's doing backflips right now. Like, I can't believe I got this.
Oh, dude. 100%.
Oh,
100%. So Floody's next. I think Floody goes car over Group 4 driver. Um, just because those are starting to kind of peel off.
yep. Yep. I think you're probably right. But I I don't know. You're actually probably wrong because you're wrong every time. But let's see. I think I don't know. I would go. I would keep going driver. I would keep going in
Mm-hmm.
driver because again, like it's after like you were saying. Okay, there might be one or two meta cars or whatever. But after that, like with the bank as open as it is, I think the driver is seriously still the most important thing. I think you can chip away at those cars in a little bit.
Yeah, no,
So
I agree with you. That would be my approach because obviously Group 4 is starting to dwindle.
mhm,
And we also have some new drivers in there too between Unfair T, Larry, and we have Parzival.
mhm,
So three new drivers. Nobody really knows, so they're kind of shooting from the hip. Um, I'm curious if anyone has asked the question on where they've qualified those drivers, but that would be a question the captains have to ask the admins. So
yeah.
actually, I was right for once. Doesn't happen often. Floody picks Group 3 car as his third pick. Interesting. So Floody had first pick last year
Mhm.
and picked the Renault.
Which was interesting. Was not expecting that.
No, I was
Um,
not either. Um,
yeah.
I honestly expected him to draft the vet last season,
Mhm.
but
Yeah. Yeah. I would have thought that would have been the play too. You know, I know that like I know that the Renault didn't pan out for them the way that they really wanted it to or expected it to, especially as like the top car pick.
hmm
I will say from my testing, we really liked the Renault, and we thought that nobody was going to touch it.
yeah,
That it would kind of be like a bottom of the barrel thing. So we were crossing our fingers that we were going to be able to get it.
yeah, yeah. It didn't sit, and not that it didn't sit well for me. It did well on some tracks. It just wasn't balanced very well. But what can I say? I drafted the Lambo and I never touched it. I never even tested it, and I drafted the Lambo last season. So, all right. So Cam's pick is in, and he goes with a Group 3 driver, Berman.
There we go.
Strong showing.
Yeah. Yep. That's a spooky team too already. So
Who does Mercury go? I have an idea.
yeah.
I think he goes Nismo.
Okay. That, that wouldn't be a bad idea either,
Mm-mm.
for sure.
No, that'd be
All right.
solid too.
All
Mercury,
right. I'm going to
Nismo,
be
and Jar on the same
contrarian.
team.
I think Mercury tries to grab a GR4 driver just to be contrarian.
Yeah,
Just to be contrarian.
I mean we saw where Thrasher is still left on the board.
Hmm.
who's solid when it comes to it. So I mean, like you said, just having those consistent points coming in like you expect out of those guys helped. Ooh, Merc!
Okay.
Wow, come with the newcomer. Did not see this coming. Not trashing on it whatsoever. Recently promoted from GT4, we have T Deeds. Timid,
Nice.
welcome to GT3. Wow,
Yeah.
wow. You know what? He escalated right at the right time of the season, and I mean, we joked around with it. He was always the bride, or the bridesmaid, not the bride, this past
Yeah.
season.
Right.
But he was always chipping away at it. So I think him being on Merck's team, Merck usually devotes a little bit more time to strategies. Deeds does well on his own with strategies, so it'll be a good mix with those drivers.
Yeah. Yeah. Deeds doing everything on his own. Deeds is about to learn like a lot from
Yeah,
Mercury for sure.
yep.
So wow. All
And
right.
yeah, I again the media screwing everything up. And how wrong we completely are.
Always. Always.
You know.
Uh, all right. It looks like maybe another one's coming in.
Yeah, Zen's up next.
All right.
Guessing
Whoops.
wise, I think Zen
Huh.
goes Nismo. Up, there we go.
Xanthic
Hey,
Nismo.
I
All
was one
right.
pick
There
wrong.
you go.
I can't spell.
Trying to look into the
Nismo
future there.
is
For
awful. Yeah,
sure.
Nismo.
uh, finally got the crystal ball booted up.
Yeah, it took a minute. Nismo
All
solid.
right.
Again, we've talked about it. He is a top contender. He came in last season as a reserve, and
Mm-hmm.
he picked up for when he drove at Trial Mountain. Screwed up on turn one, ended up in the back, and ended up winning the race and fastest lap.
Right.
So his potential is definitely there as far as being
Yeah.
able to pull some points for your team. Man, these teams are stacking up already. That's crazy.
Yeah. They really are.
All right, so
Uh,
Glovis
let's
has
see.
no teammates yet. He's got a car. um, if he picks Group 4 car, I'm done. We're signing out.
Right. Right.
And he may. I don't know. Um, Thrasher's a solid pick. We've got some good Group 3 drivers still left.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
All
All
right.
right.
There we go.
Second time in the season, we got Preston, who is currently at a NASCAR race and
Yep.
probably doesn't even know he was drafted.
He'll be excited though. I know him and Glovis click pretty well.
Yeah, they do.
He'll definitely be happy about that. And I think Preston is like a Group 3 driver to really watch out for
Mm-hmm.
too. Because like he really wants it, and I think you put him in the right car, and he's definitely got a shot at a podium. Honestly, in GT3, I really think Preston may surprise us here very soon.
Yeah.
No.
And the good thing there, too, is Glovis finds time to practice quite often, which helps his team out. You
Yeah.
know? And again, Glovis's strategy at Nürburgring was flawless. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. That was. I'm still thinking about both those races. That what a season ender. That was great.
it was
Um,
great.
that was absolutely like fantastic. All right. So let's see. We've got Chaotica up again. Yeah.
Yeah, back around to Chaotica. Chaotica still has a Group 3 car he can choose. He has a Group 3 driver and a Group 4 driver. So, I mean, I'm not even going to guess at this point because Chaotica goes against the grain of what my thinking is. And yeah, I think here I would because Group 3 is starting to dwindle down with who you have left, I would say Group 4 personally.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm wrong once again.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Chaotica goes Group 3 car. God, I suck at this. Good thing I'm not a captain this season.
Oh man. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, those cars are ticking off. I'm very surprised that there's such a quick run on cars. I honestly thought they
Yeah,
would last longer.
I did too. Yeah, just I guess yeah, just because the bank is so open, I just figured that like everybody would be going for
Mm-hmm.
for team first.
Yep. I
All
thought
right.
the same exact thing. But,
All right. Looks like Dirksy's in.
yep, Dercy's pick is in. I've got random windows popping up all over the place. All right. Dirksy goes second. GT4 car off the board.
All right.
Man, this is
And
nuts.
now maybe we're gonna see a run on the GT4 cars. Not on all cars.
Probably so.
Yeah.
I mean, we still have Coma left. Um, we have our new driver. Don't need time. So, Group 3 is pretty much dwindled down to a point where it's you might want to prioritize a Group 4 or a car, just
Yeah.
strategy wise.
So we've got Glovis doesn't have any Group 4 drivers, and neither does Cam, and everybody else still has at least one.
Yeah.
Um, and then it definitely, if you look, like you've got Dirksy's a solid driver, and then you've got like Texas and Hyphy, and now they're going to have the second car pick. Like that's I mean, we were talking about how open the bank is, but second car pick is second car pick, and
Mm-hmm.
he's got like two really strong Group 4 drivers. This Group 4 might end up being a bit of a bloodbath.
Dude, it might be, but that's Dirksy's looking strong with that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Very strong with that right now. All right, so Floody's next pick is in, and it's our new driver, Group 4, Larry.
Who is Dr. Sparkle? Yes.
Dr. Sparkle.
Yep.
Larry. We're going to go Larry
Yep.
just because it's Larry.
Yeah, it's Larry. Dr. Larry.
We don't know much about him.
Hmm?
He's new to the league, and again, that's kind of some of the things with drafting new drivers. You know, I got very lucky with drafting Deeds this season, who really carried the team towards the end there with a little bit of help from Coma too. It was all right. We got our next pick in. We got another Group 4 driver off the board. Finally, my man Thrasher, OG,
There we go.
employee
There
number
we go.
3, Thrasher.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah, he's solid too. Like again,
Mm-hmm.
he usually in seasons past it takes him a couple races just to get that new car clicking.
Yeah.
But then ultimately he starts pushing. So that's going to
Yeah.
be good there. It's fun seeing
He's
these
he's
teams.
really fun to be on the track with too. Like because he's always pushing, but he's like pushing,
Mm-hmm.
like he's tactical about it. It's not like an aggression thing. You'll just see Thrasher in your rear view mirror, just
Yeah.
kind of scooting back and forth. And he can make you nervous because he's like all over. He's like your radar thing is going off, and then he's like swerving in the back of your like he really knows how to like spook you and make you watch him constantly instead of watching the road.
He does. He
Um,
does. I wonder if
yeah.
Chaotica did not draft him because Thrasher said in our last podcast that he would punt Chaotica if he had the opportunity. All right.
The Chaotic is like, all right, bet.
Yeah, pass. All
There
right.
we go.
Next pick is in. Mercury picks GT3 car. Interesting. All right. So Mercury's sitting with Deeds, huge jar, and a car pick right now.
Yeah, that's pretty solid too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's pretty solid. I wouldn't worry. I think it's strange that the GT4 cars haven't. I would have expected those to go faster than the GT3, just because there seems to be like less of a difference between.
Hey,
Hey, oh, hey,
hey, guess what? Sino, my man.
hey.
You have just been drafted, sir, to Team Zen.
Awesome.
How do you feel about
You
that?
know, I that's really cool. Zen actually helped me out on I'll say he saw me in a lobby, and that like turn one, turn two chicane there in the reverse thing, like it was really getting me. I could not get it down, and he sat in spectate in my cabin and like walked me through it, and I'll be dipped. It worked. So that's awesome. I'm really excited, and to be on a team with Rue too. I like Rue a lot. Rue would jump into our rooms last season. Thanks, Zen. I'm pumped. Let's
Dude,
go.
that's a solid team to be on. I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, again, Nismo with his capabilities, Zen with his strategies, Rue up and coming, and you in the same boat as that, and you listen, you adapt. You know what I mean? When someone shows you something, you kind of actually listen, and that's some of the hard part sometimes is guys don't want to ask the questions or don't want that feedback of where can I get faster, and Zen being one of those people because when I first came into the league and Zen was in there with, he helped me tremendously with the whole driving piece.
yeah.
And then I was able to kind of flip that back beginning of this season at Trial Mountain, and I helped him with a couple pointers and was able to get his optimal time down. I kind of wish I didn't do that because he did rather well this season. So we'll see. All right, and look,
Yeah.
now you have some bragging rights too on top of it, right? Which is
Yeah.
you came off the board before Sully did, and Sully just went Team Glovis. So tell us about Sully.
All right. So Sully, we talk about like a lot of the GT3 guys being like, strategy masterminds, and a lot of y'all have been like sim racing for a really long time. Sully's been, sim racing for about a year. But dude's got a brain.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's got multi-page spreadsheets with like all kinds of data and stuff. I talked about it when I was on the podcast a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's methodical. So like you can see he doesn't get better in spurts. He's just like slowly starting to become a better driver on top of like really being like something else in the strat department.
Mm-hmm.
I am not looking forward. Well, I guess being on Zen's team, I'll probably learn a thing or two. But being away from Sully making all my strats is going to be interesting. He'll make a strat for you, and then he'll just try something different because he's like, well, like with me, he's like, well, you're going to be the one to get the points here, so I'm just going to kind of like do my own private like experiment over here and see how this works, so I can put it into the next season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very cool, very cool. Glad to be against him again too. It looks like Chaotica's got another one. Oh gosh,
No,
sorry.
People can just gonna have to listen to the fact that you've got dogs. Simple as that.
Oh, that dog.
That's all good. No worries. There's worse things in life. I shut and locked all the doors because otherwise my son would run in here and screaming dad and jumping in my lap and all that stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
So
I'm surprised I haven't gotten a knock on the door, but Chaotica's got another pick.
yeah, I think I'm checking something real quick before I name it, and here's why. Okay, so
Yeah, I just noticed.
We have a correction across our broadcast. So Larry is actually Fart Fighter.
Oh,
Larry is Fart
okay.
Fighter. I just want to say that one more time. Larry is Fart Fighter.
Fart Fighter.
Unfair T is Dr. Sparkle. Dr.
Gotcha.
Sparkle has now been drafted to Team Chaotica.
There we go. Okay. I Fart Fighter. I haven't been on. What? Uh,
I
all
wonder
right.
if
And I
he ever
became.
thought his name would be broadcast across YouTube in that context.
We shouldn't say it too much. Sony's gonna catch wind and make him change his username.
Pun intended.
Oh man.
Catch
Uh,
wind. Catch wind.
I don't try to do that. Why does it keep happening to me?
Oh,
That's
dude.
great. Uh, all right. I've only ever been on the track with him for beer carts the other night. So it'll be interesting to see what we see from Fart Fighter for sure. Oh,
Oh man! All right, Doctor Sparkle's on the off the board with Chaotica. Dirksey picking up his last Group 3 driver with Don't Need Time. Okay.
all right. Let's
Again,
see.
some of these drivers may be these little sleepers that nobody knows about.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Uh, the rookie class in GT4, I don't even like calling them rookies. Most of them better than I am. Like they're something else, and I think we're gonna see that trend kind of continue. You
Yeah.
know, and I've been on track with Dr. Sparkle a few times, and like he's good.
Yep.
Um,
All right.
yeah,
So Floody, I just realized who Floody picked. So did you fill out the survey that Glover sent out recently?
yes, I
Right.
did.
So the funniest on comms was Floody for Group 3 and
Hmm.
Kira Sky for Group 4. And once again, they're on the same team. So Floody just recruited Kira Sky. Now Kira Sky's been in the league for 2 years. I mean, he exclusively just runs the Group 3, Group 4 series. He used to do Sunday Cup with us too. Um, I can't remember exactly where he finished. I'll tell you in 2 seconds. But
I can get it
at
for you.
Nürburgring, he had this surprise finish of fifth place, like out of nowhere.
Hmm.
And nobody saw that coming. He's always touted the fact that he was back of the pack. I want to be in last place. That's where I belong, is in last place. And
Yeah.
now he's kind of getting towards the middle of the field on accident. So
Right.
it's kind of a strong pick.
And he finished 11th while you were looking. So, and yeah, I like Chris got. It's been really funny, like because yeah, he's gotten this he used to be really like he was into the self-deprecating humor, and it
Yeah.
was like no, I'm just fine being the paperweight back here or whatever, and like it's been really funny. He's like, how did I do that? Why am I not in last place?
Well,
It's
right,
like,
and
dude,
it
you're
came
getting
down to
good.
he's run these tracks so many times that it's just starting to click just with the monotony of just slamming it down his throat. So it's
Yeah.
starting to work. So Cam just his pick is in with Billy Bob again, another new driver. Actually,
Oh,
no, he did not. These are not official apparently because Merck is blowing me up with Cam changed his mind and Merck jumped the gun and he texted me who it was. Billy Bob, I'm sorry. You can blame that on Mercury.
Mercury's fault. It's mostly always Mercury's fault.
It is always
80,
Mercury's
80-ish
fault.
percent of the time.
And because of the incident, Billy Bob, you reach out to me and we'll do a private one-on-one academy training.
There we go.
Right?
There we go. All right. So
Layla.
instead, Cam.
So you've driven with Layla for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Lalo. Lalo is probably I would say one of, if not the like quickest skill jump I've seen since being around all these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just from the first race of the season before, all the way to the end, massive improvements, and then was really in it this last season
Yeah.
too, and has just improved massively, and is like just like a good dude all around too.
Yeah.
Wants to be there, wants to be clean, wants to be competitive at the same time. Like it's uh yeah, he's really like come along. So I definitely, when I see him on the track, I get nervous
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, Mercury seems like he was feeling bad about his little typo to us of the update and drafted Billy Bob for himself, which is the stand up thing to do since he screwed it up. He needs to
Mm-hmm.
make it right.
Right.
I think that's the way to go.
Um,
Zen's pick is in, and Zen takes the third GT4 car off the board.
nice.
There it is. How you
Yay.
feel about that?
I get to go ahead and just have a top three and
Right?
and really focus down on that.
Yeah.
That's what's up. All right, I'm excited.
I mean, here's the thing:
'Cause
is Zen is doing similar to kind of what you and I were talking about of what I would do if I were captain this season, which is prioritizing your drivers and then get them in a good car, especially GT4 first. Which, backing the two of you up with he picked Group 4 over the Group 3 car, knowing that him and Nismo can adapt better with the car bank that they have and give
yeah,
you guys a better run at it. So I think that's a smart move for you guys.
no, Rue can be on a lot too. So like Rue, maybe later I have a quick conversation and start testing. Mm,
There we go. Well, here's the thing. Track list comes out as soon as this is over, so we're going to talk about it here in just a little bit.
nice. I've been testing on a random mid speed just to kind of get a lay of the land. So I'm excited to move on to like an actual track
All
for
right,
next
Glovis
season.
picks Group 4, fourth pick car.
Go.
So this is where the draft speeds up
Mm-hmm.
pretty quickly because
Yep.
there's not a lot left. Um, yeah, when I'm testing cars, I typically do Watkins, Laguna, and Road Atlanta.
Right on.
Those are the ones I typically pick.
You really like Laguna, like just in general though, right?
Yeah.
Or is that just where I've been beaten several times?
No, I like Laguna. I like the flow of Laguna Seca. I think it's challenging enough, and it
Mhm.
shows you a lot about the car with the elevation changes and turns, and when it comes to handling. Same
Right.
thing with Watkins Glen being a little bit of a faster track and how it handles the speeds and the tire wear. And then I go to Road Atlanta because Road Atlanta is just the butcher when it comes to tires. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right,
All right.
Chaotica goes Group 3, last Group 3 driver who is going to steal the show, Koma Kopa, who was a fantastic teammate this past season. He did very well.
Yeah. I'm surprised Koma didn't go a little earlier just because he showed up late, yeah, but he adapted
Mm-hmm.
to the Lambo like really fast.
Yep.
Uh,
All right. Here's where we get the waterfall of picks. Okay, Dirksy
yep.
goes Group 3 car. That's the 6-1. Floody picks Group 4 car. All right.
All
Cam
right.
is going to go Group 4 car. That's just me guessing. Mathematics.
Maybe.
Maybe. I'm going to go ahead and type it in. Watch this.
Yep, there we go.
Camzilla. Oh, no kidding. Thanks, Cam. Or thanks, Merc. Good
Beat you by
job
half
on
a
that one.
second. All right.
Merc's going to get the last Group 4 car pick. And
All
then
right.
Zen is going to get the last Group 3
Group
car pick.
three,
I'm beating them before they even tell us.
right? Yep.
And then Group 4, we know who it is. We'll give it a moment.
Yep. Do do
So
do
these teams
do.
are, we're done on the teams, pretty much.
Yep. There we go.
Yep,
And GT3.
that's done. And then, last but not least, we have Golden Oracle, who, like we talked about, really could be a late run. Um,
Yeah.
that Tom Brady last round, well, Tom Brady went sixth round, but same difference.
Yeah.
Um, Show up. So
Yeah.
getting
I
it.
think because he's putting up in like time trials and stuff. He's
Yep.
like, look who I'm already faster than, and look, I really think he's gonna click.
Yep.
So,
I agree as well.
yep.
So let's run down the teams. Team Chaotica has Komakopa, Arcane, and Dr. Sparkle. Dirksy team, Don't Need Time GT3, and then Texas Speed and Hyphy. Next team is Floody with Boost, Larry Kuroskai, Camzilla with Berman Thrasher, Lalo, Mercury with Deeds, Huge Jar, and Billy Bob. Zen with Nismaru and Saito, Glovis with Preston, Sully, and Golden Oracle. So, which out of these teams kind of stand out to most to you? What do you think? Who's got the lead?
Um, right now, I think it's between Team Dirksy or Team Mercury.
Yep.
Um, you know, they you can't you can't ignore what they've got going on with GT4. Mercury, he didn't land, the two top or whatever, but like Huge Jar was in that race, and like Jar is peak in the GR4
Yeah.
for sure. Um, so they've both got like half decent car picks going. I think it's between them. And then I'm feeling good. I mean, Zen is top field GR3. Nismo is really really good. Um, got his GR4 guys like a good car pick. I'm feeling good personally on my team for sure. I think that there's a lot of strength spread out too. Nobody looks to be at any kind of disadvantage.
Yeah.
I think um, every team looks like they've got something going on
Yeah.
for them for sure, and something that they can pass on too. There's definitely people that can coach like on every single team. There's definitely people that there's experience with the new guys. There's yeah, yeah. I think everybody's looking really good, but for my money, as it stands right now, Dirksy's got the team to beat.
I agree with you. Dirksy's just on the GT4 side. Hyphy, because we hyped him up so much, is going to be rolling with a chip on his shoulder now. And then he's going to be able to learn from Tex and chasing down his teammate.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to go a long way. So I agree. Dirksy has a great potential, and again, having that second pick with the Group 4 car, I think is going to really weigh well for them.
Yep.
Zen, like you said, also has that strong possibility with so many different dynamics. Again, not shortchanging anybody, just looking at last season, and because we've been so right all day long today, don't
Right.
listen to any of it. So, before we wrap this up, we are going to drop the car and track list. Before we get into that, though, we are going to show you the new safety car for this season, which is the Charger that you see in front of you. That was also the thumbnail of this YouTube. Nice bright orange and bright greens. This is, I think Merc put this together. Seems about right since he's all about the frickin' orange colors, which I hate. The rear of it looks nice and sexy. We have a nice little reminder again of what our speed limits you have to stay within. 60 to 70, under 100 kilometers an hour for the conversion folks. And now, without further ado, we're about to drop the track list. All right, so here we go. Track list, and this is in order. We have Blue Moon Bay at night, Blue Moon Bay A. We have Big Willow at twilight. Oh God, that's gonna be tough. uh, there's a video clip of me jumping a hill and hitting Zen during a race, not on purpose, early off in my racing career with this crap. Um, it's great. High speed ring in the rain as race number 3. We have Lago Major at sunrise. We have Sardinia Road Track A in reverse as a late morning. Kyoto Yamagawa at sunset. And then we have Le Mans in the afternoon. Looks like no chicanes. So,
Always going for the cute tracks there at the end of the season, huh?
yeah, exactly. So, what off of this list? What track are you most not looking forward to?
Oh, Big Willow.
Yeah,
100%. That's going to be horrifying.
I agree.
It's going to be so dark, and then like the track's not lit at all.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's gonna be rough. I'm not a fan of High Speed Ring. I just think it's a boring track. Obviously, we added rain to it to make it less boring, but just personal preference. I don't care for High Speed Ring, but I agree with you. Big Willow is going to be a pain. I'm not a fan of Major. I just don't like the track at all. I do okay. I just don't click there. Gloves' first win was at that track in the 4C. Um, but my favorite track out of this grouping is probably going to be Yamagawa, Kyoto.
yeah. Yeah, I would have to agree with you. Yamagawa was really fun. I mean, I like the Mons good enough too. The end of the season is looking because I like all the Sardinia variants as
Yeah,
well. So
I agree.
like the 1 and 3 are looking pretty good for me from my perspective, I should say. High speed is the only time I've ever gotten. I mean, I don't do them every single time they come out, but it is the only gold medal I've ever gotten
In the sport time trials
Yeah,
was at the high speed ring. That'll be really fun in the rain. I feel like because I agree with you, it's kind of boring, but the rain is gonna. It's because I mean it's in the name. It's gonna lull everybody into hauling into corners,
right.
and it could end up being kind of a nightmare. So
Well, just like usual, time will tell. Group 4 has a little bit more experience in the rain than we do. So we shall see. It's a fun track. It can be a fun track. I just don't think it has a lot to offer, but that's me personally. So, as Glover said, though, we're traversing 800 miles this season, 49 days, 14 drivers, and 7 teams total, which is going to be awesome. Some of these tracks we've never even considered running in this league before. And, we open the carb bank and then we go for different tracks that we're not used to. So, again, always trying to keep everyone on edge and see how we do with it. Thankfully, Iger was one of the top picks for this, but once we got into the track, we were like, hell no, this isn't going to work. So we did back that out. So that's why that track is not there, thankfully.
yeah, Iger's got that funky jump that's really pronounced in a GR3 car
Yes.
that I kind of feel everybody on not wanting to do that one. When it came out, I did take it around. I did take a super formula around it, and that's not boring.
No, for sure, man. So, all right. Anything you want to leave for everybody else? We're about to wrap up here. I think the draft went really well. Had a little cluttery at the beginning, just trying to get everything kind of moving in the right direction. Our YouTube stream was kind of bouncing all over, but hopefully that got a little better for everybody.
Right.
Overall, though, I'm excited.
Yeah. I know I'm stoked for sure. I think yeah. Everybody everybody have a good season. I guess is just what I would leave it on. Have fun. It looks like there's been a lot of shakeups on teams and stuff. You
Yep.
know, have fun getting to know everybody else. Maybe people you don't know super well. It's going to be a good one for sure.
Yeah. Well, good luck to everybody. Saito, good luck to you on Zen's team. I think it's going to be exciting to see how this unfolds. I'm going to miss it. There's no way I'm going to be able to sit back and watch everyone running this season and not be envious and all that. But, for the
Right.
greater good, we're doing this. But it's going to be cool kind of to see it from the outside, too, looking in on how everyone's doing and where they're going. And I'm always open to helping as well, regardless of teams and everything, as we've shown before. So, good luck to everybody. Thanks for joining in with us. We're going to go ahead and sign out and start testing those cars because we're going to be checking